Let's jump right into this explainer, guys. There is just something incredibly empowering about generating your own electricity straight from the sun. But let's be real, taking that first step from a vague idea to an actual working off-grid blueprint, it can feel like a massive hurdle. Well, today, we are cutting through all that noise and taking the guesswork entirely out of the equation.
Are you feeling a bit intimidated by the solar math and all that electrical jargon? Hey, it is completely normal to crave that energy independence while simultaneously feeling, well, totally overwhelmed by the technical formulas, the acronyms, and those complicated wiring concepts you see online. I mean, it looks like a foreign language at first glance, but the secret here, it's actually just a sequence of highly logical steps.
So, to build this blueprint step by step today, we're going to quickly cover the core system components, calculate your actual energy needs, size up your battery bank, match your panels to your controllers, and then finish the whole shebang with inverters and circuit breakers.
All right, starting off with Section 1, our core system components. Before we dive into any of the math, let's quickly establish our shared inventory. We've got 5 main players here. First up, the solar panels, or PV panels. These are your workhorses, actually capturing the sunlight. Next is the solar charge controller. Think of this as a traffic cop, making sure your battery gets a safe, steady charge. Then, of course, your battery, which is basically your storage tank. Fourth is the inverter. This is your crucial translator, converting that stored DC power into the AC power your house appliances actually use. And finally, circuit breakers, your ultimate safety net.
Moving right along to Section 2, calculating your energy needs.
Now, a lot of folks want to rush out and buy solar panels right away, but you really can't buy the engine until you know how heavy the car is, right? So, how much energy do you actually use? This right here is your master reference point. If you get this wrong, your system is either going to be dangerously underpowered, leaving you in the dark, or massively overpowered, which is just throwing your hard-earned money down the drain.
Figuring this out is actually super straightforward. It takes 3 simple steps. First, find the wattage of your appliances. If the label only lists volts and current, just multiply those 2 numbers together. Simple. Second, calculate your watt hours by multiplying that wattage by your daily usage hours. So, for example, if you have a 65-watt laptop and you use it for 4 hours, that gives you 260 watt hours a day. Third step, just repeat that process for everything you plug in and add it all up to get your total load.
Okay, here's a reality check. You literally cannot ignore the laws of physics. No electrical system is 100% efficient. You're always going to lose some energy through your wiring, the controllers, the inverters. It's just how it works. So our first golden rule is the 35% buffer. You must absolutely always add a 30 to 35% system loss buffer to your total load to get your final, true daily energy requirement. Which brings us to Section 3, sizing your battery bank. Now, before we calculate the actual capacity, we've got to demystify this term, depth of discharge, or DOD. Look, draining a battery completely to absolute zero will absolutely ruin its lifespan. It's kind of like a water tank, where the bottom half is filled with sludge. You can really only safely pull clean water from the top part. For traditional lead-acid batteries, that safe limit is usually right around 50%. But if you're using modern lithium batteries, you can safely push that all the way to 80% or even higher.
So let's put that into practice. Here is the exact formula for sizing a 12-volt battery system. Step 1, you adjust for that DOD we just talked about. If you're going with lead acid, you literally just double your daily load right off the bat. Step 2, factor in your days of autonomy. Basically, how many days of backup power do you want if it rains all week? Just multiply your load by those days. And finally, Step 3, divide that massive adjusted watt-hour number by 12 volts and boom, you have your required amp hours.
Next up, Section 4, matching panels and controllers.
Okay, to figure out exactly how many panels you need, you have to really understand what sun hours means. And guys, this isn't just the amount of daylight, it's the average intensity of usable sunlight in your specific area. Now, while the global average is right around 4 hours, it's way smarter to use a conservative 3.5 hours. That gives you a nice safety margin for cloudy days. So, to get your number, just take your final daily energy requirement from earlier and divide it by 3.5. That'll give you the total wattage your array needs to generate. Now, when it comes to regulating all that glorious solar power, you've basically got 2 main choices. If you're going with a basic PWM controller, you take your solar panel's short circuit current, or ISC, and multiply it by a 1.25 safety factor. Done. Or you can opt for an MPPT controller. Yes, it's definitely pricier, but it is so much more efficient. To size an MPPT, Simply divide your total array wattage by your battery voltage. Both ways absolutely work, but let me tell you, MPPT definitely gets you more bang for your buck out of the sunshine.
And finally, Section 5, Inverters and Circuit Breakers.
Listen closely here, because when you're buying an inverter, you absolutely must understand the difference between continuous load and surge load. You might look at your math and think, oh, I just need a 1,000-watt inverter for my baseline. But wait, motorized things, stuff like your fridge or your power tools, they require a massive initial surge of power just to start up. For these guys, you actually need to multiply their listed wattage by at least 3, meaning your inverter has to be dramatically oversized so it can handle that big startup surge while still easily maintaining your regular continuous load.
And a huge pro tip when you're shopping for that inverter, always opt for a pure sine wave inverter. Those cheaper, modified sine wave inverters, they create this choppy electrical wave that actually makes motors run hot. Unless you genuinely enjoy the smell of a literally fried smart TV, just spend the extra money up front. Pure sine wave ensures you're getting smooth, clean power, exactly like what you'd get from the city grid.
All right, here is our final golden rule, bringing our whole blueprint to a safe, tidy close. To properly size your safety circuit breakers, you take the maximum current flowing through any given wire and multiply it by, you guessed it, a 1.25 safety factor. Oh, and please remember this. Always use DC-rated breakers for the solar side of your setup and AC-rated breakers for the output side that goes to your appliances. Do not ever mix those two up.
Wow, look at how far we have come in just a few minutes. You now understand the core mechanics, you get the absolute necessity of safety buffers, the reality of those sneaky surge loads, and you know the step-by-step math. You are no longer just guessing in the dark, you are calculating. You literally hold the blueprint to true energy independence in your hands right now. So my final question to you is this. Now that you actually have the power to completely detach from the grid, how is that going to change the way you interact with energy altogether? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy building out there!